A big g'day and welcome to another edition of the BFNL Netball Show. My name's Yeendy, always excited to be with you ahead of netball action. I'm here with the netball guru, Kim Bailey. Thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, thanks Chris. It's been a good week of netball. We had some really close games last round and some great rounds coming up this week.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be fantastic this weekend. We look back to the last weekend. Kim, you had a great game on the weekend, East Point, Mountain South. Tell us how it went down.
Yeah, it was a really funny type of game. It was sort of up and down. Mountain South would get a run on. They'd get 4 goals closer. East jumped them at the start, but they'd get 4 goals close, and then East would just put their foot down and go again. And I think it was a 10-goal margin roughly in the end, or 10 or 11-goal margin in the end. East controlled most of the game, but Beth Smith played an unbelievable game on Bet Call, almost probably one of the best games I've seen her play. She played extremely well, chased the ball, hunted, did everything right. The young brigade of Mountain South were out as well, and they played a good game. Tara Parker, in keeper, on Lauren Dew, played a really good game. Lauren's first game back after a back injury, and Jess McGowan in wing attack for East was amazing as well. But it was a really good game, some great skills displayed, and most probably South have been a little bit disappointed. They shot really well. They did shoot really well. Just the defensive pressure that East applied was amazing, and it just stopped the ball getting to Beck. So, yeah, well done to East. They had a really good game.
Well, Beck had 35 chances and she converted 34, and it's pretty standard for her, isn't it?
Yeah, she's just a great player. You know, you get that ball close to the post with her, and she's going to get that ball in. She's that big target underneath. You know, I like the tall pillars up either end of the court, and South have that as well. East are a little bit different team. They're most probably more mobile. They're not as big. Emma Farrell played a really good game, and that combination with her and Loz Dew is fantastic to watch. But they're not that big, but they're just skillful. And as I said, their defensive combination was really good. So they've got a big game this week. They play Sebastopol, and just having a look at that game, I just think they're in for a real chance, I think.
Yeah, well, they have that confidence-boosting win to take in there. And the pleasing thing from East Point's point of view as well is that they extended on their lead in the first 3 terms as well. So they're able to put that gap to make it hard for South to get back in the contest.
Yeah, look, as I said, you'd think, sometimes I'd look at it and think, oh, gee, South are coming back. But then they'd just steady through the mid-court and get the turnovers that they needed, and they converted the turnovers, and that's what win your games.
A crucial game between sides in the top half of the 6 as well. They're not the premier sides in the competition, but they put on a good show nonetheless. And the other game that I guess plenty of people are talking about is Redan's draw with the Sunbury Lions. What a game. 42 goals apiece.
I think I said it'd be close. I
did.
I think I might have even said I might have thought it was Nella could be a draw, but I thought it was going to be extremely close, but I thought Sunbury in a tight one. So it was a draw, and well done to both teams. From what I'm hearing, it was a pretty physical game, which we come to expect when these two teams play each other. There's no love lost there. It's always been good games, but a really interesting stat, and it just maybe shows either she had an off day or the defensive pressure was Chloe Curran, who shot, I think it's 70%, which was
30 from 40.
Yeah, which was low for Chloe's standard. But she was playing against Erin Riley. Both of these two girls are championship players, female players. So that it was a really good matchup. Ruthie Smith had a really good game in this, and Taryn Munro, but from what I'm hearing, Liv Jorgensen and Ruby Parry are becoming a really deadly combination in attack for Redan. Liv Jorgensen's a young girl who's playing under 19s for Sovereigns and is just killing it, shot at 80%. So, there's some really good signs there. I think that might give Sunbury most probably
bit of a wake-up call.
Yeah, maybe probably the impotence to move forward and say, we just can't cruise along. They're still my flag favourites, no doubt. Because I can't see Chloe shooting 30 from 40 again.
Yeah, and I guess it was interesting too that Redan, they led for the first 3 quarters as well. Did. And then Sunbury Lions had to come back in the final term to draw it. So a bit of disappointment there from Redan's perspective, because they would have thought, well, they're sitting just teetering inside the top 6, but they would have thought, oh, we're a chance here.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't quite get along.
You've got to play 60 minutes of netball to win games. No point playing, 30 minutes or 40 minutes or even 56 minutes. You've got to play 60 minutes of netball to win win a game, and that if you lose your concentration, that's going to cost you. Which obviously it cost them the win, and maybe just a little bit more experience there from Sunbury. But Ruby Parry's having although percentages were down 61%, but she's having a really good season there, and it's just. Opens it up a little bit. Like Redan would most probably be disappointed, as you said, because they're still in 6th. They most probably could have, on their percentage, if they had won that game, they most probably would have moved into 4th.
Yeah, and that goes to show the closeness of the competition, which we've been talking about in recent weeks too. Yeah, so it's disappointing for them where they finished, but. Yeah, it still leaves Sunbury 6 points clear of anybody. Yeah, they're our team to beat. One of the other great games all the weekend, we had North Ballarat City 43 defeated Bacchus Marsh 42 in a game that many people were talking about as well. Yeah, interesting game, 43-42, and it was sort of seesawing as well during the day. It's just the kids at the moment for North, and they're lucky they've got such strong kids too. Maddie Selman, who we know played a great game the last few weeks down at Association Champs and Bowen Junior Champs. She shot at 94%. Ooh. So Maddie's still, I think she's an under-17s player. Wow. Still bottom age 17. So, the girls got some talent. Eleni Hooper also had a really good game. Emily Bedio is a great player for Bacchus Marsh, and again, a young kid who's just got so much talent, and I think Michael Say could be really, really impressed with that performance by one of the top teams. So, it's a good result. As we said, it just opens up the competition, and Bacchus Marsh is sitting 8, so they've had 3 wins, so that would have really propelled them a little bit too. So they'd be disappointed, but it's sort of, you look at North and you think, I can't believe they're losing these games, but they've got lots of experience out as well. It's Sasha McDonald coming back in a few weeks. It's been most probably a worse ankle injury than what we thought. Mm-hmm. So it's disappointing not having there for North, as it is for us at Sovereigns not having her at the moment as well, because she's such a great player. But some really good results over the weekend. Yeah, and the other games we'll quickly just go through. Lake Windaroo 59 defeated Darley 47, and great to see Sebas. They got back on the winners list with a 24-goal win over Melton. Yeah, really comfortable win for Sebas. And look, another superstar, just touching on Darley's Mel Freeman. Although they didn't win, she was named best on court for them as well. And again, another girl that's bottom 8, she's under 17s, top age 17s, but won the Bar and Junior Champ, best and fairest. But, Cara Hart's been in great form, and Ali Brewer, another young kid too. Their percentage was down. Sarah Hepburn was 65% and Chrissy James at 79. So Chrissy's not far above the mark, just a couple more goals, she would hit the 80s. But so Lakers they needed that as well. And where does that put them? That puts them still in 7th, but again, they could sneak into the top 6. Well, let's just have a quick look at the ladder. We have Sunbury Lions in 30 points, Sebas 6 points behind in 24. Then we have a bit of a logjam situation where we've got teams from 3rd to 7th only separated by just 4 points, with East Point, North Ballarat City, Melton South, and then Redan with the draw on 18 points again. A win would have had 4 teams on 20 points. Lake Windaroo sitting on 16 points in 7th position, then Bacchus Marsh on 12, Ballarat on 8, Darley and Melton on 4 points respectively. So Ballarat's a disappointing team. They snuck in last year and played finals. So I think them sitting in 9th would be really disappointing for Gary Cooks. So we would have thought. I actually thought that they might have sat comfortably in the top 6, but losing Kelly Moran, although she's back playing, I see, did have an effect early in the season. But onwards and upwards in here and see how they go. Well, let's have a look at their game. They take on Sunbury Lions, and I know, as we mentioned before, Sunbury thought they might have been coasting a bit, Kim, but they got the wake up call, and that's disappointing for Ballarat, because they've had the week off, feeling refreshed, confident to go ahead, and then they face a team that is just determined to bounce back. Yeah, I don't think there's any way Sunbury will lose this game. They'll be smarting a little bit after draw, and they'll be out to prove a point. So, think it'll be a comfortable win. Yep, no arguments there. Bacchus Marsh and Lake Windaroo battle between 8th and 7th respectively. This is a good little game that will shape up how the top 6 is going to unfold. Yeah, this is a good game. If we look at how well Bacchus performed on the weekend, we better not underestimate them, really. But Lakers are starting to hit some good form. Just speaking to Mel Allen recently, and she just thinks it's most probably the best the girl's been playing for some weeks. So, I'm going to stick with Lakers. I'm gonna back a smash in this one here, because should Lake Windermere get the job done, regardless of what happens with the other results involving teams in the top 6, we're going to see an 8-point gap open up between 6th and 7th. So the door will start to close on that chase.
I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see next week.
Yeah, exactly. So that'll be a fascinating one there. Another blockbuster game that'll have an impact on the finals. I know it's a long way away yet, but we've got East Point in 3rd position, Sebastian 2nd position. How's this one going to play out, Kim?
Yeah, look, I saw East last week and I was really impressed with them. As I said, that their ball movement is really slick and fast. They turn and release. I'm actually most probably going to go and see half of this game. I'm up there for junior, up in Ballarat for juniors this weekend. So I'm most probably going to pop up and see half of this game, see how Sebas go. But only because I've seen what East can do, I'm going to go for East.
I'm going
to
go for Sebastopol here. Just keep up the good form that they've showed, especially after bouncing back against last week with Melton with a 24-goal win.
Yeah, I just need to have a look at Sebas and make a more informed opinion. Most probably, that's why I'll have a look at them.
Yeah, they've still got a bit of development to go as they sort of build towards the finals. And North Ballarat City versus Melton. North Ballarat City expect them to go on with the job here and go for their 6th win of the season.
Yeah, I think so. Melton just don't have the firepower, and they've only shot 189 games in what are we up to? 7 weeks.
Yeah, so they're low scoring.
Yeah, they are low scoring, and they've got with Emma Church and in defence, it's sort of, and Sarah Milton, their defensive unit's still really, really good. So I just think it'll be too much for them. I think North will get a comfortable victory.
And we get ready to pump up our last game. We've got Redan versus Melton South.
Yeah, this will be a really interesting game. Both teams could be a little bit short on. There's a Friday night VNL game, so Liv Jorgensen and Erin Riley will be limited to the amount of court time that they can get in their recovery if they play at all. And Melton South have Bet Corbell away in Traralgon playing VNL for Blaze as well that day. So both teams will be a little bit light on. It'll be an interesting game. I think it's going to depend virtually on the court time of those girls. But they've both still all got some talented players there. Lex Klimas is carrying a bit of a knee injury, which sort of hampered her movement a little bit. But when she gets the ball in that hand, that just drops in the hole. She's a great shooter. I'm going to actually come and see a little bit of this game as well. I'm going to do half Redan Melton South and half Eastern Sebas. So I get a little bit of each game. So
do the Kim Bailey tour around the BFNL.
Yeah, do the tour. But I'm going to go Redan. I only think, but you know what? It could go either way. It's just a bit like Sunbury last week. But I'm going to stick with Redan.
I'm going to go Melton South, take Beck Cole out of the team, and they're going to have to find other avenues to goal to sort of step up. But I'll be getting on them just so I can see just what they can do, because they're going to need to learn to play without these players throughout the year if the opportunity arises. So I think it'll be a good challenge for both teams.
They've brought in a couple of really nice goalers when Beck's been unavailable in the past. So they most probably do that again. So yeah, just on last week's form, I'm going to go Redan.
Should be an absolute cracker, Kim. Thanks so much for joining us here on the BFNL Netball Show. We look forward to catching up with you next week.
Thanks. See you later.